Yo, peace was good. Welcome to another hip hop album review. This is part 226. The album that I would like to review is Ice Cube with his fifth album, War and Peace, released in 1998. I do apologize for the glare. You guys should know who Ice Cube is. He's a former member of NWA, who was NWA disbanded, but he's a member of NWA. You guys know the history with that. He left in 1989 due to monetary issues and contractual issues and that kind of thing. Then he ended up hooking up with Public Enemy and the Bomb Squad, put out the classic album America's Most Wanted, which I did a review on a couple years back. Then he put out Kill Up Will that same year in 1990. Then he put out Death Certificate, which I did a review on. Predator in 92, 93 put out Lethal Injection, which I feel is very slept on. I did a review on all those four albums, including the EP. Definitely check that out when you guys get a chance. And in 1996, he was part of a group called West Side Connection, which consisted of Mac 10 and Dub C, formerly known as being part of Low Profile and the Mad Circle. Definitely get my hands on that Low Profile album, but I guess that shit goes for stupid money. Like, it's ridiculous. 96 and 97 was like a very busy year for Ice Cube. 96, you guys know he was going to beef between Cypress Hill and Common. Common put out the Bitch in You. By the way, I did a review on One Day It Don't Make Sense by Common, so definitely check that out. I did that about a week ago, so check that out when you guys get a chance. And 96, he was dealing with that, and then he met with Common in Chicago. The great Farrakhan, the Minister Farrakhan, pretty much did like a little peace treaty, so they squashed the beef, so they cool now, so no beef between them two. That kind of. In fact, they were featured on Barbershop, so I forgot which one, but they were in that same movies. I think the second or third one, I don't remember. But anyways, ironically, right? It's crazy. And in 1997, it was a very busy year for Ice Cube because he was featured on two movies. One being Anaconda. Everybody knows that movie. It was a classic. It's like a very campy movie, but it's fun to watch. And he was featured in a movie called Dangerous Ground, where he plays like a South African exile going to America. Had to leave because of it's during apartheid. And when he's a grown man, he actually goes back to South Africa to attend his father's funeral. And yeah, it's just like I don't really remember that movie, but I didn't hear I don't remember too much of it. I have to rewatch it, but it didn't really do very well, and it didn't do very well in the box office. A lot of reviewers trashed it. That kind of thing, so it didn't do well, and plus it had like a very limited release, and it got to the point that it went straight to it was like a straight to VHS. Sorry, it was a straight to video in Australia and shit like that. So that kind of tells you right there. But sometimes that's not always the case, because some movies that reviewers trash is not always bad. So everything's subjective. You know what I mean? So that's just on you. And then, but the most important part is he put out a compilation album called Featuring Ice Cube. That's pretty much like a greatest hits that he put out. The reason why I say it's important is because even though a lot of the songs are songs that were like kind of like singles, but also it was more like features and things of that nature. But the important thing about the EP, about that compilation album, is one song was featured like his prodigy at the time, Mr. Short Chop, which he discovered in front of a 7-Eleven, freestyle in front of 7-Eleven, and he kind of brought he brought Mr. Short Chop under his wing, and there's a song called Bend the Corner With Me, which shit goes hard, man. I think that's the reason to get that EP, that compilation album. Like, that's just for that one song. You can find it on YouTube, but to be a collector, want to add it to the Ice Cube collection, definitely pick that album up. And then in 1998, he put out the Players Club. I think that was like his dictatorial debut as far as movies. And then and then later on in '98, I think late fall, like November of 1998, he had released this album. All right. So this is what the album looks like. I believe there's only one single of the album. That single is "Pushing Weight," which there is a video for. All right, see what the album looks like. What's pretty cool about it, I don't think you can see it on. Oh, okay. I think you can see it. Kind of has like that hologram kind of look to it. Pretty cool. All right. Got the this what I could tell that he was influenced by the movie Dark City. For those who don't know what that movie Dark City is, it's a movie that came out like early, like I think like late '97, early '98. A lot of people a lot of movie buffs like to say that's like the predecessor to the Matrix. So imagine the Matrix mixed in with the Crow, just because of this dark vibe. Then you pretty much have Dark City. But I have to rewatch that movie. It's been a while since I've seen that movie. But definitely by the way he dressed, it definitely has that feel to it. And then you can see in the back he has like the painting and things like that. So pretty cool. Kind of like reminiscent of the Crow. Very influential from that. All right. So that's what the back looks like. Pretty cool. That's what the CD looks like. Alright, One Piece. Alright. That's pretty cool. Pretty dope. Kinda has like that post-apocalyptic like the government, like the society's like an anarchy and shit. You know what I mean? That's what I get. That's the vibes that I get from that. And I think little tidbit too, I think in the United States is the only country that has this release, because I think everything else is just like a standard cover. Like the cover is the same, and I'm assuming the booklet is the same, but it doesn't have that it doesn't have the hologram effect to it. I think it's like a really standard. So I think that's pretty cool. I could be wrong on that, but let me know for those that live overseas. Let me know if that's true or not. All right, so open it up. Alright, pretty cool. Got the track listing. Let me open it up real quick. What the fuck? Can't open this shit. Oh, I thought it was like one of those. Oh, okay, that's how it goes. And you see like kind of like a crow. You know what I mean? Got the track listing here. Like I say, you see the city in anarchy, you know what I mean? Pretty cool. Ice Cube right here. Alright. Pretty cool. Ice Cube and his crew. Alright. And it says Volume 2 coming soon. It says it's supposed to come out available early '99, which is not true, because that actually came out in 2000. So, and I will be doing a review on that, so definitely stay tuned for that. Alright. I'll get down. I'm gonna go through the producers. Alright, the producers on this album is T-Mix of Suave House fame, in-house producer for Suave House, 8-Ball MJG, Crime Boss, Mr. Mike, which he was actually featured on that album, Wicked Ways, which ironically the song that he was featured on the album is actually on the featuring Ice Cube compilation. So T-Mix, N.O. Joe of Rap-A-Lot fame, Scarface, Ghetto Boys, all that. N.O. Joe again, JoJo, Ice Cube himself, Butter, dope producer, affiliated with Dr. Dre, very underrated producer. Butter, like I said once again, said Ice Cube already. N.O. Joe and JoJo I mentioned before. Ice Cube I mentioned before. Butch, a cat named Butch, not sure who he is. And EA Ski. Alright, so those are the producers now. Features on the album: Mr. Short Chop, which I mentioned before. Oh, and by the way, I showed his solo album, the Chop Shop that came out in 2001. That was a pretty dope album, so definitely check that out when you guys get a chance. Mr. Short Chop I mentioned before. Korn, the group, the band, rock band, Korn, love them. Let's see who else. Master P's on here, but he's like on a skit. Mac 10. Mr. Short Chop I mentioned before. K-Mac. K-Mac, I believe he was in the group. I want to say either the Comrades. Definitely I need to get my hands on that album too. K-Mac of that, yeah, and that's pretty much it. Those are the features in the album. All right, so you know how I get down. I'm gonna go through some of the tracks. I do apologize for the long, intro, but I have to, like, with stuff like this, it's definitely, I'm all about details, so that's why some of my videos be long, but I'd rather it be detailed and things like that. So I'm not gonna do like a 3-minute review. Like, it doesn't serve its purpose. Like, albums like this definitely deserve, detailed, reviews. That's just my personal opinion. So, all right. So, first track, Ask About Me. Dope way to start the album. That was produced by T-Mix. Dope way to start the album. That's pretty much like a braggadocio track. I like the line when he says, "Never lost hair over assholes, blast holes in you motherfucking tadpoles like a bullfrog, nigga. I'm a bulldog. Guppies get worked like puppies by the bulldog." I love it. That was pretty dope. That was track 1. Ask About Me. Track 2, Push Away featuring Mr. Short Chop. That was a single. There was a video for it. The video was okay. It was kind of cheesy, if you ask me. It wasn't too crazy about that. Song was okay. That was produced by Eno Joe. I like the line when he said, "I hold zone like a Corleone. No more fucking with that homegrown. Hit the shit we on. The Roleos and the baguettes. You still fuck with them faggots. We turn haters to maggots." And that was actually the first single of the album, so I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, it was cool. I do like the line. I mean, he was spitting on that joint right there. And then right off the bat, listening to those two songs, it's very different from Ice Cube's signature sound, because everybody's used to like the production he's done with, like, with Sir Jinx and Mr. Woody and DJ Pooh and people like that, like that really dirty, crunchy SP1200 sound. But with this album, it kind of has like that, that wet, like that kind of like that Southwest, like down Southwest kind of feel to it. So that's a little different, you know what I mean? So going into this album, you could kind of tell with that too. But which is not a bad thing, but that's that kind of thing. So that was track 2, Pushing Weight. Track 3, Dr. Frankenstein. Pretty dope track. What I got from that was, like, he pretty much compared Frankenstein to the hip hop game or gangster rap, to be specific. So you guys know the story of Frankenstein. You got this mad scientist. He created the monster, that kind of thing. So in this album, song, he actually talks about how gangster rap, when it first came out, like he created gangster rap, that kind of thing. But then it was like a gift and a curse, because it was a gift because it started like a whole new genre of hip hop. But then it was a curse because you had all these fucking executives, all these, like Tipper Gore and C. Dolores Tucker and Dionne Warwick and Calvin Butts and all these people, criticizing gangster rap and it's bad for the black community. But then years later, a lot of these executives, they see like, gangster rap is selling, let's capitalize on it. And these executives are making the most money out of that. And that's the thing that Ice Cube talks about, like, damn, I created something, but then I'm not making the money that I need, that I deserve, because I created it. So he talks about that, and he talks about that with an example where he says, now how many times did a nigga have to warn you? You're fucking up the formula to call the coroner. It's out of hand, cause sucker ass niggas like you try to pay the rent off my blueprint. new scent to the industry. You thought my shit was biodegradable. It's unfadable, unstoppable, running through your suburbs. Incredible Doug words. So that right there, what I just explained is what he was saying pretty much. So throw that out there. So that's track 3, Dr. Frankenstein. Track 4, Fuck Dying, featuring Korn. Pretty dope track. When I first heard this song, I didn't like it, but then I revisited the album, and I actually like that song. And I believe that was the second single as well, because I believe there was a single. I believe there's a video for that. I could be wrong about that, but I believe that was a single as well. I like the line when he says, "Though you, of course, you missed the runway. We most, excuse me, we missed the runway. We mashed the first kickoff on a Sunday. Collisions, divisions of niggas down to listen. When we on the mission, call your morticians." Woo, killed that. That was pretty dope. All right, so that was track 4, Fuck Dying, featuring Korn. Pretty dope joint right there. Track 5, the self-titled joint, War and Peace. Oh, and Dr. Frankenstein was produced by N.O. Joe. Fuck Down was produced by Ice Cube himself. Alright. Track 5, War and Peace. That's produced by Butter and Ice Cube. Pretty dope joint. Self-titled song. Pretty dope. I like the line when he said, "The man in me is ready for war like Holyfield Tyson 4. A gang against you niggas on the shore. Either or your whore or your whole family's on the floor." Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was track 5, War and Peace. Pretty dope. Track 6, Ghetto Vet. Pretty dope. One of my favorite tracks of the album. That's produced by Butter. In this track, he talks about, living a life of crime, having, respecting his hood, but you also got haters too, you know what I mean? And, that's just what it is. Like, unfortunately, when you live that street life, you're not going to have people that like you, you know what I mean? That's just what it is. They want to do harm because of jealousy, and then, they expect you because you made a little bit of money, they expect you to, bring back the hood and, give back to the hood and shit like that. But yeah, man, I like the line when he said, I start buzzing and they scatter like water bugs, cause they West Side niggas is harder thugs. Enslave us, but nothing can save us from sporting Ben Davis, shooting at your neighbors. So yeah, so pretty much, yeah, like I said, like, him, grew up in the hood, that kind of thing, and you got haters and shit like that. So, and things of that nature. People want to eat too, but it's like one of those things. So that was track 6, Ghetto Vet. Track 7, oh, and that was produced by Butter, like I said before. Track 7, Greed. That was produced by Ice Cube himself. That was an okay track. That song was actually featured on the Gang Related soundtrack, which is a dope soundtrack. Definitely check that out. That was okay. It was not my favorite song, but it's okay. Track 8, MP. So skit, Master P's on it. Just him, bigging up Ice Cube, that kind of thing. So, nothing too spectacular. But shout out to Master P. Track 9, Cash Over Bitches. No, Cash Over Ass, excuse me. Yeah, self-explanatory. Money over bitches, that kind of thing. That was produced by Ice Cube himself. I like the line when he says, "You never make me holler, smoking on the $15 from across the water. Watch your daughter, she might catch the Holy Ghost from this rap sermon. While you vermin smoking Sherman, I'm rolling something German." Woo, he killed that. That was pretty dope. So yeah, that was track 9, Cash Over Ass. Track 10, The Curse of Money, featuring Mac 10. Obviously, money being the root of all evil. Yeah, just like the negatives of having money, more money, more problems. I didn't write any lyrics to that, but let me get a sip of water. All right. excuse me, sorry. So that was track 10, Curse of Money featuring Mac 10. That was produced excuse me. That was produced by Jojo Hearn and Eno Joe, The Curse of Money. Track 11, The Pecking Order. That was a pretty dope track. That was produced by Deep Fried Damp and Ice Cube himself. Features Mac 10. Dope track right there. I like the line when he said, having heavy intercourse with the water of depression, messing with the wrong bitches, never learn our lesson, stressing no guessing, no questions, never question, even when we playing, we testing confession. Yeah, he killed that. That's one thing that Ice Cube is, what I like about Ice Cube is that he's like a chameleon. He could, whatever beat you give him, he could flow to the beat. And that is a skill that, not a lot of people have, you know what I mean? And, that's one thing about Ice Cube. Like, he never makes the same album twice. He make one album and then you would expect the same, but it's not, that kind of thing. So, ooh, excuse me, sorry about that. So that was track 11, The Pecking Order. Track 12, Limos, Demos, and the Bimbos, featuring Mr. Short Chop. Now my favorite track on the album. In this song, that was produced by Rick Dutch Cousin and Ice Cube. It's not my favorite. I don't really care for that song. They sampled the Police song. I forgot which song, but it's a Police song that they sampled, but it was okay. But the Police song itself is dope. It's like an instrumental track and that kind of thing from their the album that came out in like 1980, I think it's called. I forgot the name of it, but yeah, they sampled that track, but I wasn't too crazy about that. So, like, one of my least favorites, Saved It with Greed. Wasn't crazy about that song. Track 13, Once Upon a Time in Projects Part 2, is a sequel to the classic song Once Upon a Time in the Projects from America's Most Wanted. I didn't really care for this song either. Could have done without that. I think he should have just left it alone, honestly. It was a good song for what it was back then. Just leave it alone. I know some people say the same thing about Gangsta's Fairy Tale Part 2 that was actually on the Predator. I actually don't mind that. That was actually pretty good. But the first one obviously is a classic, but and ironically, Redman used the same sample from Once Upon a Time, the one from the first album on his Doctor's Name album. So yeah, it's ironic, you know what I mean? But yeah, so far, Greed, Limos, Demos, and Bimbos, and Once Upon a Time in the Project are the only songs I really care for. If I Was Fucking You, track 14, If I Was Fucking You, featuring Mr. Short Chop and K-Mac of the Comrades fame. That was pretty cool. That was a pretty cool track. Obviously talking about fucking groupies and that kind of thing. Really nothing too crazy, nothing too spectacular. We all we all love those kind of tracks, but if it's done right, you know what I mean? So yeah, that was track 14, If I Was Fucking You. Track 15, Ex Bitches. Pretty much the same thing, same concept. Like, just talks about past relationship with ex-girlfriends he had in the past. You know what I mean? So, nothing too crazy, but pretty cool. Pretty kind of personal kind of thing. Track 16, Extradition. Pretty dope track. In this song, he talks about them being on the run from the feds and that kind of thing, and then just like the shit that he had to go through, that kind of thing. Track 3, 3 Strikes You In. Pretty much in this track, he kind of uses like the baseball analogy of California's three strikes law that they have in California. So it's like I think the third strike, you get life in prison and that kind of thing. So he kind of criticizes that, and also it's kind of reminiscent of, like, I think it's him paying homage to Main Source with the song Just a Friendly Game of Baseball, but that was more dealing with police brutality, but police corruption and that kind of, it's almost like the same vein, but it talks about more on the penal prison side of things, that kind of thing. you know. So I thought it was pretty cool. And track 18, Penitentiary. Extradition was produced by Butter. Three Strikes You was produced by N.O. Joe and Ice Cube himself. And the last track, Penitentiary, produced by E.A. Ski and Ice Cube. Dope track, talks about the ills of being in prison and that kind of thing. Man, overall, man, I really like this album. I think it's a very underrated album. I remember when I first heard it years ago, I did not like this album at all. I trashed this album because you gotta understand, like, I'm a fan of, you know, NWA Ice Cube. Ice Cube, his early shit, you know, from 1990 up to like 96. That's the Ice Cube I like, you know what I mean? In my opinion, his prime years. But with this album, you know, he kind of went for that more, you know, I guess like the South, you know, way of things production wise, but it worked out because it had like that Southwest, cause you know, back in the day, like, you know, Rap A Lot, you know, throughout the mid 90s and late 90s, Rap A Lot, Suave House, they kind of always had that West Coast feel to their music, that G-Funk, but they just were from the South, you know what I mean? So I think he was trying to tap into that sound, you know what I mean? But it definitely worked because, like I said before, Ice Cube, he's definitely like a chameleon. You give him a beat and he can rap to any beat, and his flow is like no other, man. And that's one thing I don't really hear a lot of people talk about. But yeah, man, pretty dope album. Underrated. Is it a classic? No. It's definitely not one of his best albums, but it's definitely a dope album. Definitely give it a chance, because I know some people have a love-hate relationship with this album. I was one of those guys, but I actually like the album now, so I definitely appreciate it for what it is. Like I said, not a classic, but it's pretty dope. But yeah, War and Peace, Volume 1, released in 1998. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys for tuning in. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Alright, peace!